Hello and welcome to Gothic Reviews. Today we are reviewing this almost occult looking book called A Field Guide to Demons, Fairies, Fallen Angels and Other Subversive Spirits by Carol Mack and Dina Mack. I have seen Dina Mack's page on Amazon and it seems to only list this one sadly, but she doesn't seem to have other books adjacent to her page, and that's a shame because after reading this one I was interested in pursuing other interests that she could write about. I like the cover on this book already. It's a cute little demon with a long nose and curved horns, and of course if people are afraid of demons they would not like it at all, but this one to me seems like a good representation. It seems almost light-hearted, mischievous, kind of interested and not too malicious as some portray, say, somebody like Baphomet or something. And this is that kind of a tone of a guide where it's light-hearted, it presents the lore. Most of the demons are not maniacal, crazy and unrulable. The guide here specializes not just in demons, of course. In fact, even though it calls it like it is a field guide to demons, it lists very few actual demons that would be demonically defined as denizens of hell or anything. Most of them are spirits, entities, folklore creatures, all kinds of things that sort of touch on the supernatural but not in darker ways. So again, all lighthearted and friendly here. What I like about this guide is that it presents general properties of each particular creature first, and then it goes into the description of a particular story where it was first mentioned, or methods of how to prevent its activity, rituals, items needed, everything, unless such an activity was never defined in lore, in which case it lists that too, that methods of defending yourself against this entity are unknown. The book here divides itself interestingly into several domains by which the different creatures are classified. The first one is water, then it is followed by mountain, forest, desert, domicile and psyche. And I like it how all of those areas, each one, many of them start with entirely isolated domains away from humanity. Some of them touch on humanity close by, and of course psyche completes the symmetry perfectly by blending entirely with the humans in a world, and those are psychological demons, not necessarily demons, sometimes they're spirits, all kinds of things. Again, the rule are preserved where they're usually creatures and entities, not so much demons, with a few exceptions. I like the breadth of the material here. It features some rare creatures, even the kind that I didn't hear about, like an amphibian centaur from Celtic mythology that I never even heard about, and I heard about very many different mythologies and creatures. It's one of my interests, so that was kind of interesting. Then it includes this interesting canon story from Chinese mythology called Madame White, which is one of the great four canons of Chinese literature and folklore. And that, again, I maybe heard about it somewhere, but I don't think I read it in such a detail with the coherent version provided. So I think this guide does very well. It even provides spirits from my own native mythology, the Slavic mythology, the Russian mythology, and creatures related to it like Rusalka, Vodyanoi, and other ones. It does not list, sadly, some of the most famous of our kind creatures, which are Baba Yaga and Kashay. But then again, some people would say that they are overdone and are listed almost everywhere, are known to everybody who knows a little bit about Slavic mythology, so that's not really a big faux pas or anything. I think it's good to include some of the rare creatures, and this guide delivers it just very nicely. It's pretty long. It has a small section of introduction and quotes from famous poets like Emerson and Shakespeare, and then it goes into the lore itself as described by the different sections such as mountain, forest, etc. So overall I would recommend that book. it doesn't really cite precise spells. Some of the spells, if necessary, I'm sure they could be adjusted. I had a few ideas creatively how to adjust several of them if I met a creature like that. So I don't think you have to follow it verbatim. But otherwise, it seems very coherent, very complete within itself. And even if you don't believe in anything like that and just want to educate yourself, which is the purpose I got it with in mind, it definitely is worth it just to pursue your education, expand your horizons, and maybe get some creative inspiration for your stories. So this guide definitely delivers all of that. And it was a guide by Dina Mack and Carol K. Mack. One of the links I saw is available on Amazon, and I'm going to provide it. So hope you enjoyed this brief review of the field guide to demons, fairies, fallen angels, and other subversive spirits.